welcome to livealittlehigher.com. This week's parasha Beha'alos'cha begins with God's directive to Moshe Rabbeinu, telling him to tell Aaron, his brother, that when he lights up the lamps, when you light up the lamps, this is how the Torah portion begins. And we know that every day in the temple, the high priest is commanded to light the candles of the menorah. In Hasidut, the candles represent the soul of the Jewish people. As the verse states, the soul of an individual is a candle of God. And the Alter Rebbe, Rabbi Shneur Salman of Liadi, explains that the menorah itself represents the source of all Jewish souls. And Aaron, the high priest who lights these candles, is one of the 7 archetypal souls from whom the souls of the Jewish people are spiritually energized. His intense love of God inflames the blazing beacon of fiery love that burns within every Jewish soul. So we know that Aaron, the Kohen Gadol, the priest, the high priest, was an individual who was full of love. This is why this job was given to him, because he was a person that gave love to everybody that came to him. And he used to take time out of his very busy schedule to bring people together, to rekindle the love between husband and wife. If 2 friends were fighting, he would take time to make these 2 friends get friendly again and to restore harmony between the people around him. And such a righteous individual, such a person like this, that is a caring human being that's busy bringing love to the world and bringing love to the people, ensures that the individual actively continues to express his love. And when he kindles this light, of love amongst other people, what he does is that he makes the other people become loving too. So Rashi explains that when you elevate the candles, this means so that the flames rise of its own accord, the righteous individual illuminates and kindles the Jewish soul until it burns independently. So we know from this parasha that there was a method to lighting this menorah. He would put the light on the wick of the other light, and he would keep it there until that light would burn on its own. So let's say the mission of a person like Aaron HaKohen is to keep close to that person that needs this love until that person can love by his own. And this is a leader of a generation. That's a person or a mentor or a teacher or a parent, anybody that's helping someone else grow and find their own inner light, has a job to stand by that person until that person can burn by himself. So in the Zohar, Aaron is called the queen escort. This is in Kabbalistic terms. That's called the queen escort. And his task is to accompany the queen, which is the Shekhinah, the divine presence, which is known as the bride, to join the king, who is God himself, who is Kedusha Berihu, and who is the groom. So we know that the Jewish people are seen as the bride, and God is seen as the groom. And this means that Aaron escorts the Jewish people and elevates them towards God. And this is a task of the Kohanim in general. This is the task of a Kohen. This is a very special caste among the Jewish men, that a man is a Kohen because his father was a Kohen, his grandfather was a Kohen, and he can trace it back to Aaron HaKohen. There's a DNA test that is shown only in the Kohanim men, and I think it's a group of Ethiopians that come from a certain place in Ethiopia, that they did this genetic test, and all of them came from the Kohanim, came from Aaron HaKohen. So the Kohen in general, God commands them to take care of the Jewish people, and this is why when they bless the Jewish people in the synagogue, in the holidays, For example, the Sephardic have the custom that the Kohanim will give a blessing every day to the congregation. That the blessing, and it says it's done with love, with ahava, because it has to be given with love. The blessing them every day with love, they elevate the candles of the souls. So when you give love to other people, we're not Kohanim, but a Jew is a priest. We were meant to be holy priests, all of us, and we have this love inside of us. And in reality, this is what moves the world, is love. The way to bring people closer to God is through love. So lighting the candles appears once more in this Torah portion. Again, it talks about the lighting the menorah. And in this other moment in the portion, in the Sidra, God tells Moses to choose 70 elders, and I will descend and I will speak with you there, and I shall emanate from the Spirit that is upon you, and I shall place it upon them. This is what it says in the parasha. And Rashi interprets this with a parable that says what was Moses like at that moment? Like a candle that is in a candelabrum from which many candles can be lit without its own light being diminished in any way. So you have Aaron HaKohen, who is kindling the menorah. He's outside of the menorah. He's a person that is standing by people. His job in the world is to help another Jew ignite that love towards Hashem and towards others. Moshe Rabbeinu, on the other hand, it's explaining, is part of the candelabrum. He's not outside of the candelabrum. And nevertheless, we see that his light is not diminished because of the other lights. So it says that Moses received his prophecy until it overflowed from him to reach the elders. It came a moment where he had to gather the 70 elders and give them the Torah so they could teach it to the people. And in this way, he was not sitting all day talking to people 24 hours a day and teaching them the Torah. He was able to give the knowledge to others, but this didn't diminish him. You know, so many times people are scared of sharing what they know. They're scared of sharing what they have, because they feel that if they give of themselves, they're going to become less. But here, what the Torah portion is telling us, and what Rabbi Yitzhak Ginsburg is teaching us through this commentary of the Torah, is that when people are giving of themselves, they really don't become less, they become more. They don't diminish their light, and they ignite other people, so there's even more light. And so this is a type of kindling, is different from that of Aaron's, because Aaron went from one Jew to another to kindle his soul. Moses remained inside the candelabrum. And another verse states, anyone who entreated God would go out to the tent of meeting that was beyond the camp. Anyone could bask in Moses' light, and the 70 elders ignited themselves from his flame. Moses is the king escort who accompanies the king to his bride, the Jewish people. Moses brought the Torah down to us. From our perspective, as the bride, we must approach him until his candle kindles our souls. So you see, Aaron is the type of person that's going to go and look for people. He's going to go and look for people. He's going to go and walk the streets, look for people. Who can I invite for my Shabbat dinner? Who can I teach some Torah? Who can I put the film on, right? This is a person that's looking for people. Moshe, on the other hand, didn't go outside of his area. He stayed in a certain zone, let's call it the emanating zone. He sat there and people would come to him. So you have these two perspectives of kindling lights. One is looking for lost souls that need to be kindled, and the other one is sitting and waiting for people who want to be kindled to come to you. So one was Aaron's perspective, the other one was Moshe Rabbeinu's perspective. So Moses' soul reappears in the righteous spiritual leader of every generation. We see the Rebbe Lubavitch, people would come to him. They would look for an audition with him. They would look how to get closer to him. He wouldn't go out into the world looking for people. And then you have other types of rabbis that are looking for kids everywhere to bring them to the fold. You need both, actually. So so Moses is this spiritual leader of every generation that people go look for him. And he may not wander the streets looking for the lost souls. This is the task of such righteous individuals as Aaron, the high priest. That their root soul, we see that they come from a certain root soul. Moses, on the other hand, remained in a place and teach the Torah of life to all those who yearn for God. So one is looking for people to ignite. The other one are people who are searching for that light, and they come and they look for it. They call a teacher, they go to a shiur, they get into YouTube and look for my video. This is the people who are ready to learn and are looking for it. But then there's other people that are those people that are so lost that we need to bring them with love. So we see here that that there's another type of prophecy, and we see that Moses appointed these 70 elders. There were two people from these 70 elders that remained in the camp, that were Eldad, and the other one was Medad. And these two people, the divine presence rested upon them. They were prophets, and they prophesied that Moses was gonna die, and that Joshua ben Nun was the one that's gonna bring the Jewish people into the land of Israel. We see that these Eldad and Medad, they never go out of the tent of meeting, but prophesied in the camp. They never went, to where Moshe was. He went into the outside, and they were prophesying. And we might imagine that Moses was not the source of their prophecy. It is difficult to believe that Moses would transmit a prophecy concerning his own death. Yet on hearing of Eldad and Medad's prophecy, Moses' attendant Joshua told him. He came to Moshe Rabbeinu, and he said, look what these people are saying about you. And Moses didn't prevent it. He allowed them to talk. He allowed this to go on. And so this teaches us that Moses was also the conduit of this prophecy. And we see that this Eldad and Medad, we see that they were in the camp. There was no direct link between them, and their prophecy was like a flame that skipped from Moses' candle like salt to kindle the wicks of their souls. While a righteous individual such as Moses sits in a place and teaches, he inspires distant souls and ignites them with his fervor. So yes, many people never had the chance, for example, to meet the Rebbe Lubavitch personally. They never went to the 770 to get a blessing from him. But nevertheless, through his teachings, through listening his discourses, through learning from everything he left, these souls are ignited and they're on fire, and they can come out into the world and transmit the teachings of a great tzaddik. So we see here that the prophecy of Eldad and Medad concerned the journey of the Jewish people after Moses' death, and then they would enter the land of Israel under Yeshua's leadership. And the sages say that Eldad and Medad also divined the war of Gog and Magog, which is the war that's going to be a final war. It's a prophecy it's a messianic prophecy of a war that's going to come, and the world is gonna shift to a different dimension in which Mashiach is gonna come, and the time of peace is gonna come to the world. So living in the land of Israel really is the ultimate purpose for the Jewish people. We know that at the end of the day, this is where we'll all end up being, when everything settles and everything is the way it should be from the beginning of existence. The Jewish people ultimately will come here. So this is for now a prophecy, but we know as Jewish people that this is the ultimate destination. So the goal is that the entire Jewish people, God's sons and daughters, wherever they may be, we will be worthy of being kindled by this light. So I wish you a blessed week. May you be a light. Whatever you have to give. This is not gonna make you less, this is gonna make you more. And we should take these teachings from Aaron of how to love our fellows, and from Moshe Rabbeinu, how to be a spark in other people's lives. And us ourselves, it's not only the job of a prophet to say whatever needs to be said and to ignite certain people, but the job is that you yourselves come out stronger from learning Torah, from doing mitzvot, and you yourselves can transmit this to those around you. So may you be a light, may you light the world with the light of love and peace, and remember, live a little higher. Thank you.